Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. I am, of course, Leo Brown. And today I'm going to talk about something that I won't say it's a sensitive subject, but it may be for some, because as we all know, the presidential election has just concluded. So, congratulations to President elect Biden and Vice President Harris. So I hope all of you casted your votes, no matter who you voted for. I hope your voices were heard. So what I want to talk about is the lessons we can learn from our current sitting representative of America, Donald Trump. And when I think of Donald Trump, aside from his ramblings and his tweets and the things that he said and done in the past 4 years, I see a man who is wounded. I see a person who, I see a wounded child. I see a person who's ever been told no. And I also see a person who has never been told that you can do things, but just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. And I see someone who is resistant to change. I see someone who is narcissistic, who is driven by their vanity. And I see someone who does not see what others see. Uh, and someone who's addicted to power and who abuses that. But the one thing that I can take from Donald Trump, from everything that he's done these past 4 years, is what happens when we are resistant to change. And the reason why I say this is because, as we all know, the transition from him being the representative of the United States to President-elect Biden becoming president happens in January. But as we know, he's actually fighting it. He's fighting the transition because he was like, oh, there was voter fraud and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I don't know about that. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think there was. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me. We can all agree to disagree. We're all adults here. But I think, the lesson we can take from him is just what can happen when you don't have any boundaries. You know what boundaries are like, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't have them. A lot of people don't have healthy boundaries, or we don't learn healthy boundaries until it's too late in life. And I think with someone like Donald Trump, he doesn't know what a boundary is because he's gotten so used to yes people. He's become used to people telling him yes and bigging him up instead of saying, you know what, I understand this is what you want. You know, you want to remain in power. You want to remain, head of state. I get that. However, that's not the way it is, unfortunately. And I think for people who believe in what he's doing, who think that what he's doing is just and honorable, that's because they see, it's like looking in a mirror. They see a lot of themselves. It reminds me of, I was doing an event and I'm hot. That's why I'm wiping like sweat from me. So forgive me. I just got out of the shower. So I was doing an event and I was on my way to it. And of course I took a Lyft. I don't drive. And that's a whole other movie. But I was taking an event or going to the event. And the woman who was driving me to the event, she was a Trump supporter. She was pro-gay. She was pro-abortion or pro-choice. I'm not going to say pro-abortion. But she was pro-choice and she was Trump supporter. And I asked her, I said, what is it about Donald Trump that you enjoy? And she said, well, he says what we're all thinking. He says what a lot of us can't or don't want to say. And he doesn't take any crap. And I went, ah. Now, I think for many people who do support him, whether they be black, white, red, yellow, gay, whatever, that's why, because they see a lot of themselves. They wish they had a mouthpiece. They wish they were in control, in power. But I also see, when I look at Donald Trump, a person who has a false sense of self, and a false sense of reality. And a person who, believe it or not, I think he's lazy. I think he's gotten used to things being given to him and not really working and not really earning or honing, his skills. Even as a businessman, if you go back and you read his books, if you go back and you look at his businesses, because there are many, there's everything from the university to water, and they've all been failures on some level, even casinos. And I will admit, there was at one point in time where I actually liked him because I used to watch Celebrity Apprentice. I would watch it not just for him, but for certain celebrities. Like I watched the Apprentice one with Joan Rivers and Amy Duke. I thought that was awesome. Rest in peace to my girl, Miss Alexandria Malinsky. The one with LaToya Jackson and Claudia Jordan. Shout out to Claudia Jordan and Miss Jackson. And I thought they were great. I thought it was awesome to see celebrities come together for a cause, for a charity, of their choice. And I will admit, I thought that Donald Trump was charismatic. I thought he was funny. I thought he was a good actor. But I think when it came to, and like many, I didn't believe that he would ever become the representative of the United States. I just didn't. I was like, oh, he's not going to win. 2016 came, he won. And right now, what people seem to realize, because people have been like, oh, we should be, supportive to, the Trump supporters, to the Make America Great Again, which, by the way, was actually a slogan coined by Ronald Reagan in the 1980s when Reagan was running. But, a lot of people are like, oh, well, we should be nice to them. And me personally, I don't think we should be nice. I think we should hold them accountable because you allowed this man to be your voice box to speak for you. And what does that say about you, your character as a person, that you don't think or speak for yourself? And I honestly think that Trump poured a lot of gasoline on many, many fires. He did not, and I'm just being honest, he did not execute or present himself in a presidential way. And he's not doing it now. Because even Republicans, even Bush, even Reagan, even, I'm trying to think, even when Gore lost, Gore conceded. Gore was like, okay, when Gore lost to George W. Bush, to the former governor of Texas. And he was like, okay, fine. Even after the recount. Even when Hillary lost, she conceded. She called him up and was like, you know what, I congratulate you, I'm good. So the lessons we can learn from Donald Trump are be open to change, because this is what happens when you're not open to change, when you don't know healthy boundaries. Watch your circle, who you choose to be around, who you have around you. Watch the things you say, and not only what you say, but how you say them. And work on the wounded inner child, because we all have an inner child. Work on the wounded inner child, the person that didn't get enough love or that felt that way. Work on the wounded inner adolescent, because we all have one. And when I look at Donald Trump, that's what I see. I see a man that honestly he doesn't want to grow. It's too late. The mental and emotional damage it's done. It's more than done. And, instead of me being critical of his presidency, which, trust me, I definitely could be, even more so than I am now, I just see the inner side of him and I'm like, you really are a broken, wounded man. And you're clinging to something that's not there. And when we think about it, how many of us have done that? How many of us have clung to a relationship, to a friendship, to a family member, to a job? You know what I mean? How many of us have done that? I've done it. You know what I mean? Because you want so badly to believe that you're deserving of that job, that relationship, that, friendship, that home, that whatever. And you don't want to give it up. But then life is like, listen, you got to give it up. And even though right now we have the Grand Old Party, which is, the GOP, going along with him, I think that's because just like him, they have their own delusions of grandeur too. They don't want to give up their seats. They don't want to transfer power because they know, and like I've said to many of my contemporaries and many people that I know, a new day is dawning. Change is happening. And for many of us, we don't want to embrace it. We don't want to embrace transformation. We don't. We are in the year, and I'm gonna get a little, numerology. I'm gonna bring out a little numerology in this. We're in the year of Shango. And for those of you who don't know who Shango is, look him up. He is an African deity. He's in the religions of Ifa. He's in Santeria. He's in Wudan. He's in a lot of different African religions. And if you read up on Shango and what he represents, everything that we're going through this year makes total sense, in my opinion. And we're entering into a year of, I believe, 5. I believe. So we're entering into and if you look at Shango and what he brings about change. He brings about transformation, but in a forceful way. And a lot of us, myself included, let's be honest, we don't like change. But unfortunately, change has to happen. Change is inevitable. There's no different from you being a little boy or a little girl, then growing from, a little boy, a little girl to a toddler. And from there, you grow into, you know what I mean? You go into a tween. Then from there, you go teen. Then you go to teen to young adult. Then you go, you know what I mean? Then you grow into adulthood. Then you grow into, middle age. Then you grow into being, older, and a senior citizen. And then you pass. You know what I mean? It's inevitable. And I think in this case, you just have a person who doesn't want to receive. And he doesn't want to give change either. Give it away, give power away. So when I thought about it, I just really wanted to come on and talk about it because I think despite everything that's going on, we have to look at things from a different perspective. And that's the way I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it like you have a little boy who's on the playground. He just doesn't want to give up his toys. He doesn't want to play well with others, And it's not just that. I think it's just he's clinging to power because that's all he knows. He doesn't know he doesn't know boundaries. He doesn't know what it is to have a healthy boundary. He just knows I know money. If I don't know how to make money, I know where I can find money. I know how to, make deals for my friends, which I benefit from. I know how to give illusion. I don't know how to be authentic and be real. And to me, those are some of the great lessons that I think his representation of being a representative for the United States has really shown us in a lot of ways. But that's just my opinion. So I want to know, what do you think? What are the lessons that you have learned from Donald Trump's representation, being the representative of the U.S., of the United States of America? What lessons have you learned? What are you hoping to see in the next phase with, President-elect Biden and Vice President Harris? What are you hoping to see? What are you not looking forward to? Leave your comments below. I will talk with you later. I hope you guys enjoyed this edition of Let's Talk About It Tuesday. And once again, I'm Leo Brown, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.